The alien ships appeared above Earth without warning. 40 massive warships, each one larger than anything humanity had ever built. They hung in orbit like dark clouds blocking out the stars. Admiral Sarah Chen stood in the command center, her hands clasped behind her back. She watched the largest alien vessel on the main screen. Her face showed no emotion, but her mind was racing. "They're hailing us again." "Admiral," said Lieutenant Torres from the communication station. "Put them through," Chen replied calmly. The screen flickered. An alien face appeared, something like a lizard mixed with an insect. Its 4 eyes gleamed with superiority. This was Ambassador Paramount Zeltok of the Valdrin Empire. "Humans." Zeltok's voice came through the translator, cold and mechanical. "We have been patient. 3 days have passed since our arrival." "It is time for your answer." Chen stepped forward. "Ambassador, we need more time to consider your offer." Zeltok made a sound that might have been laughter. "Offer? You misunderstand. This is not negotiation. The Valdrin Empire has ruled this galaxy for 10,000 years. We have brought 847 species into our protection. You will join us or you will be forced to join us, and if we refuse," Chen asked, though she already knew the answer, "then we will take what we want from your world. Your ships will be destroyed. Your colonies will be occupied. Your people will serve the Empire as laborers until you learn obedience." Zeltok leaned closer to the camera. "Look at your fleet, human. 23 destroyers, 8 cruisers, 1 pathetic carrier. We have faced entire civilizations with 1,000 times your strength. They all knelt eventually." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "You've done your homework, of course. We scanned every military installation on your planet and in your orbital space. You have nothing hidden, nothing secret. You are children playing with toys, and the adults have arrived." Zeltok's mandibles clicked together. "I will give you 30 days. 1 month of your time. Submit your government, your military, and your colonies to Imperial authority, or face the consequences." The screen went dark. Lieutenant Torres turned in his chair. "Admiral, what do we do?" Chen was quiet for a long moment. Around the command center, officers waited for her response. Finally, she spoke. "Get me Captain Webb on the Defiance, and send a priority message to coordinates Delta 77. "Delta 77? Torres looked confused. "Admiral, that's just empty space beyond Neptune. There's nothing out there." "Send the message," Chen repeated. Her voice was steel. "Encrypted. Maximum security. The message is 30 days. Be ready." Torres hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, Admiral." Across the solar system, the alien fleet settled into position. On the Imperial flagship, Zeltok met with his senior officers. "These humans are weak," said Commander Vrick, the tactical officer. "We should strike now." "Why wait 30 days?" Zeltok waved a clawed hand. "Because the Empire is not savage. We give them time to accept their fate with dignity. Besides, it amuses me to watch them squirm." "Their military is a joke," another officer added. "I've seen merchant vessels with better weapons." "Exactly," Zeltok agreed. "They achieved faster-than-light travel only 23 years ago. They have 12 small colonies, none of them heavily defended. They cannot hide anything from our sensors." He brought up a holographic display showing Earth's fleet. "This is everything they have. Every ship, every station, every weapon. They are completely transparent to us," the officers laughed. Zeltok felt satisfied. This would be the easiest conquest in his career. On Earth's moon base, Captain Marcus Webb sat in his quarters aboard the carrier Defiance. His ship was old, built during humanity's first expansion into space. It had decent shields and okay weapons, but nothing compared to the alien monsters in orbit. The door chimed. "Come in," Webb called. Admiral Chen entered. Webb stood quickly, surprised. Chen rarely left Earth Command. "Sit down, Marcus," she said gently. "We need to talk." "Admiral, let us fight," Webb said immediately. "I know we're outgunned, but we can't just surrender. Humanity didn't crawl out of caves and cross oceans and reach the stars just to bow to the first bully we meet." Chen sat across from him. "And if I told you we had a plan?" "A real plan?" Webb frowned. "What kind of plan?" "Admiral, I've seen the intelligence reports. They're right, we're completely outmatched." "They see what we want them to see," Chen said quietly. "Tell me, Marcus, what's the oldest trick in warfare?" Webb thought for a moment. "Make your enemy underestimate you." "Exactly." Chen stood and walked to the window. Outside, the lunar surface stretched gray and lifeless. Above, stars twinkled, and somewhere among them 40 alien warships waited. For 15 years, humanity has been preparing for this moment. Not hoping for it, not wanting it, but preparing for it. I don't understand, Webb said. Chen turned back to him. You will. In 30 days, you'll understand everything. Until then, I need you to trust me. Keep the defiance ready. Keep your crew sharp, and when the time comes, follow my orders exactly. Even if those orders seem wrong, especially if they seem wrong. Chen moved to the door, then paused. The alien ambassador thinks we're children playing with toys. He thinks he knows everything about us. He's about to learn that humans are very, very good at keeping secrets. She left Webb alone with his thoughts. In the deep black beyond Neptune's orbit, where no sensors could reach, something massive began to wake up. Lights flickered on in the darkness. Computer systems hummed to life. And thousands of crew members who had waited in silence for years started their final preparations. The message from Admiral Chen had arrived. The countdown had begun. 30 days until the Empire learned that Earth was not defenseless. 30 days until everything changed. 2 weeks had passed since the ultimatum. On Earth, people marched in the streets. Some carried signs that read "Never surrender," while others begged for peace. The world governments debated endlessly, their arguments broadcast across every channel. Admiral Chen watched the protests from her office window. She knew the fear was real. The anger was real. But the debate, that was theater. Every passionate speech, every desperate plea, all carefully scripted. Admiral, the ambassador is requesting another meeting, Lieutenant Torres informed her. Of course he is, Chen replied. Tell him I'll meet him tomorrow. Make sure the meeting is at Facility 7. Torres raised an eyebrow. The old base? Admiral, that place is ancient? Exactly. The next day, Zeltok's shuttle landed at Facility 7 in the Nevada desert. Chen met him at the entrance, wearing her dress uniform. Behind her, 2 human soldiers stood at attention, their weapons clearly inferior to anything the Empire possessed. Ambassador, Chen greeted him with a slight bow. Thank you for coming. Zeltok stepped out of his shuttle, followed by 4 Imperial guards. He looked around the facility with obvious disdain. This is your primary military command? One of them, Chen lied smoothly. Would you like a tour? For the next 2 hours, Chen showed Zeltok exactly what she wanted him to see. Old computers. Outdated weapons. Training facilities that looked barely functional. The ambassador's contempt grew with every room. This is pathetic, he finally said. Your species is even more primitive than our scans indicated. How do you expect to defend yourselves with this? Chen's face remained neutral. We do our best with what we have. Zeltok turned to face her directly. Admiral Chen, I almost feel sorry for you. You seem like an intelligent individual. Surely you understand that resistance is impossible. I understand the situation clearly, Chen replied. Then convince your leaders to surrender. Spare your people unnecessary suffering. The Empire can be merciful to those who submit willingly. Zeltok glanced around once more. You have 16 days remaining. Use them wisely. After the ambassador left, Torres approached Chen. Admiral, why did you show him Facility 7? He thinks we're completely helpless now. Good, Chen said quietly. That's exactly what I want him to think. In orbit, the Imperial fleet grew bored. The humans weren't fighting back, weren't even making threats. Commander Vrick approached Zeltok on the flagship bridge. Paramount, the waiting is making the crew restless. Perhaps a demonstration of power? To encourage the humans to decide more quickly? Zeltok considered this. Yes. Choose an uninhabited target in their outer solar system. Destroy it completely. Let them see what awaits them if they refuse. 3 days later, the Imperial fleet moved to the outer solar system. They selected a small moon orbiting one of the gas giants, worthless, empty, no life. 20 warships fired together. The moon ceased to exist. On Earth, people watched in horror. The display of power was devastating. The Empire had turned solid rock into dust in seconds. What chance did humanity have? Admiral Chen watched the same footage. Her expression never changed. She opened a secure channel. This is Chen. Accelerate the timeline. I want everything ready in 10 days, not 16. Admiral, that's pushing it, came the reply from Commander James Rodriguez. His signal was delayed, coming from far beyond Pluto. We need at least 12 days for full systems integration. You have 10, Chen said firmly. They're getting impatient. We can't wait any longer. Understood. Rodriguez out. Chen closed the channel and turned to her staff. Increase traffic to the research stations. I want supply ships running constantly. Make it look normal routine. Won't that attract attention? Torres asked. They've been scanning our supply runs for weeks. To them, it's just civilian traffic. Scientists, equipment, nothing military. They're not even looking anymore. Chen pulled up a star map. The Empire has conquered hundreds of worlds. They follow a pattern. Scout, ultimatum, overwhelming display of force, then either submission or conquest. They're predictable. And predictability is a weakness. Meanwhile, on the other side of the solar system, something impossible was happening. The UEDS Prometheus floated in the dark between distant ice worlds. 12 kilometers of advanced human engineering, hidden where no sensors could find it. Commander Rodriguez walked through the carrier's massive hangar bay. Rows of sleek fighter craft lined the deck, 500 of them. Each one equipped with technology the Empire had never seen. Status report, he called out. Neural link systems at 98%, reported his second officer, Commander Lisa Park. Fighters are armed and ready. The AI is running final diagnostics. Area status? Rodriguez asked the empty air. A female voice responded, seeming to come from everywhere at once. All systems functioning within normal parameters, Commander. I have identified 17 potential tactical scenarios based on Admiral Chen's latest intelligence. Would you like to review them? Later. How long until we can jump? At current readiness levels, I can initiate FTL jump in 8 days, 6 hours, and 42 minutes. Rodriguez nodded. Admiral Chen wants us ready in 10 days. We're ahead of schedule. Park looked worried. Commander, are you sure about this? We're one ship against 40, even with our advantages. We're not trying to win a fair fight, Lisa. We're trying to make them understand that conquering Earth will cost more than the Empire is willing to pay. Rodriguez gazed at the fighters. Every pilot on the ship volunteered. Every crew member knows the risk. We're not heroes. We're just humans who refuse to kneel. Back on Earth, Captain Webb received new orders from Admiral Chen. He read them 3 times, certain there must be a mistake. When Chen appeared on his screen, Webb didn't hide his confusion. Admiral, these orders. You want the Defiance to fall back? To retreat toward Earth when the fighting starts? Those are your orders, Captain. It looks like we're running away. It looks like we're cowards. Chen's eyes were hard. Sometimes, Marcus, looking weak is the strongest position of all. Trust me, I don't understand any of this, Webb said, frustrated. The whole fleet is confused. We're ready to fight, but you keep telling us to wait, to hide, to run. What's the point of having a military if we don't use it? Oh, we'll use it, Chen promised. But not the military they can see. The Empire thinks they know everything about us. They've scanned our planets, our bases, our ships. They've calculated their victory down to the smallest detail. She leaned closer to the camera. They forgot one thing, Marcus. Humans are really, really good at hiding things we don't want found. We've had 15 years of faster-than-light travel. 15 years of deep space exploration. 15 years of building where nobody was looking. Webb's eyes widened as understanding began to dawn. Admiral, what exactly did we build out there? Chen smiled. You'll find out soon. 5 days, Marcus. Just hold on for 5 more days, the countdown continued. On Earth, the debates grew more desperate. In orbit, the Imperial fleet waited with growing arrogance. And in the dark spaces beyond human sight, the Prometheus completed its final preparations. Geltok sat in his quarters, reviewing reports. The humans would surrender. He was certain of it. They had no choice. Their military was a joke. Their technology was primitive. The conquest would be so easy it was almost boring. His computer chimed. A message from Imperial Command. Zeltok, 3 species in Sector 44 are watching your handling of the human situation. Show strength. Make an example. The Empire must appear invincible. Zeltok sent his reply immediately. The humans have 5 days. If they do not submit, we will strike their military bases on Mars. A demonstration of power. A lesson in the cost of defiance. He closed the communication and allowed himself a satisfied feeling. Soon this tedious assignment would be over. The humans would join the Empire's long list of conquered species, and he would return home with another victory for his record. What Zeltok didn't know, what his sensors couldn't tell him, was that in 5 days, everything he believed about humanity would be proven wrong. The trap was set. The prey had been underestimated, and Earth's secret was almost ready to reveal itself. The attack on Mars came without warning. Zeltok had grown tired of waiting. 3 days before the deadline, his fleet moved into position around the Red Planet. Fire on the mining colonies, he ordered. Destroy only the military outposts. Let the civilians watch. Imperial weapons lanced down from orbit. 3 human bases on Mars's moons exploded in brilliant flashes of light. 1,247 people died in seconds. Scientists, engineers, soldiers, all gone. On Earth, Admiral Chen watched the destruction on her screen. Her jaw tightened. Behind her, officers waited in shocked silence. "Admiral, we have to respond," Torres said, his voice shaking with anger. Chen was quiet for a long moment. Then she reached for the communications panel. "Open all channels. Every human colony. Every ship. Every station. Channels open, Admiral." Chen spoke clearly, her voice carrying across the entire solar system. "This is Fleet Admiral Sarah Chen to all United Earth Defense Forces. The Valdran Empire has committed an act of war against humanity. They have murdered our people. They believe we are weak. They believe we will surrender." She paused. "They are wrong. Protocol Prometheus is now active. All units execute your orders." "Prometheus, you are weapons-free." She closed the channel and turned to her staff. "Now we show them what humanity has been hiding." On the Imperial flagship, Zeltok heard the message. He laughed. "Prometheus? What is Prometheus? Another empty threat from a defeated species?" His sensor officer looked up from his console, confused. "Paramount, I'm detecting a massive gravitational distortion beyond the 8th planet. It's enormous. Probably a natural phenomenon," Zeltok dismissed. "These humans are desperate. They're trying to—" "Paramount," the officer interrupted, something he would never normally dare to do. "The distortion is moving. It's coming toward us, and it's accelerating." Zeltok moved to the sensor station. What he saw made no sense. The reading showed something 12 kilometers long. 12 kilometers. That was impossible. No ship in the galaxy was that large. It must be an error. "Recalibrate the sensors." "I've recalibrated twice, Paramount. The reading is accurate. Whatever it is, it's real, and it just entered faster than light travel." Zeltok felt a cold sensation in his stomach. "Where is it going?" "Toward Mars. It will arrive in 30 seconds. Far beyond Neptune, where human supply ships had been traveling for years, the UED's Prometheus completed its jump. Space twisted and tore, and suddenly the massive ship emerged into normal space at the edge of Mars orbit. On the bridge, Commander James Rodriguez sat in the command chair. Around him, his crew worked with calm efficiency. They had trained for this moment for years. "Aria, full systems check," Rodriguez ordered. The AI's voice filled the bridge. "All systems operational. 500 fighters ready for launch. Weapons systems armed. Defensive shields at maximum. Neural link connections established with all pilots." "Good." Rodriguez looked at the main screen. The Imperial fleet hung in space near Mars, their ships still arranged in their arrogant formation. "Open a channel to the Imperial flagship." "Channel open, Commander." Rodriguez spoke slowly, making sure every word was clear. "This is Commander James Rodriguez of the United Earth defense ship Prometheus. You have committed acts of war against human colonies. You have murdered our people without provocation. You have 30 seconds to withdraw your fleet beyond the orbit of Mars, or we will engage." On his flagship, Zeltok stared at the massive ship on his screen. It dwarfed his own vessels. But he had 40 ships. This was only one. "This is Ambassador Paramount Zeltok of the Valdran Empire. Your arrogance is astounding. 1 ship against 40? You are either insane or foolish. Surrender now and we may show mercy." Rodriguez allowed himself a small smile. 1 ship, 500 fighters, and humanity's refusal to kneel. "Your 30 seconds are up. All ships, destroy that carrier," Zeltok commanded. Rodriguez nodded to his crew. "Launch all fighters. Area, execute attack pattern Delta." The Prometheus's launch bays opened. Fighters poured out like a swarm of angry insects. 500 sleek craft that moved with impossible grace and speed. Inside each fighter, a human pilot lay in a neural link pod. Their minds directly connected to their ships, their reflexes enhanced by technology the Empire had never imagined. They thought, and their ships responded instantly. No delay, no hesitation. The Imperial ships opened fire. Energy beams lanced through space, trying to hit the human fighters. But the fighters moved like living things, twisting and dodging with reactions 10 times faster than any organic pilot could achieve. They're too fast, an Imperial gunner reported in panic. I can't track them. Impossible, Zeltok snapped. No species has pilots that fast. Paramount, they're getting through our defenses. The human fighters struck. But they didn't use energy weapons like the Empire expected. Instead, they fired solid projectiles. Chunks of metal accelerated to a fraction of light speed. The kinetic weapons punched through Imperial shields like they weren't even there. Shields are ineffective, an officer shouted. These weapons shouldn't work against our shielding technology. Then strengthen the shields, Zeltok ordered. They're already at maximum. The shields were designed to stop energy weapons, not solid matter moving at relativistic speeds. On the Prometheus, Aria was coordinating the entire battle. The AI tracked every Imperial ship, every weapon, every movement. She fed targeting data to the fighters, predicted enemy responses, and adjusted tactics in microseconds. Commander, I'm detecting unusual network activity from the Imperial fleet. Aria reported. They're using active scanning protocols. This is exploitable. Exploit it, Rodriguez ordered. Aria sent microscopic packets of code through the active scan beams. The Imperial systems, designed to be secure against known threats, had never encountered true artificial intelligence. Within seconds, Aria had infiltrated 3 ships. I have access to their weapon systems, Aria announced calmly, disabling primary batteries on ships 7, 14, and 22. On those 3 Imperial warships, weapon systems suddenly went dark. Targeting computers crashed. Shields flickered. Zeltok watched in horror as his fleet fell apart. The human fighters were everywhere, their weapons tearing through ship after ship. His own tactical systems were malfunctioning. Nothing made sense. How are they doing this? He demanded. Nobody had an answer. The battle lasted 47 minutes. When it was over, 15 Imperial warships were crippled or destroyed. The rest were damaged and barely functional. The Prometheus had lost 23 fighters, 23 pilots who had sacrificed everything for humanity's freedom. Rodriguez opened a channel to the Imperial flagship. Ambassador Zeltok, this is your only warning. Take your remaining ships and leave our solar system. Tell your empire what you saw here today. Tell them that Earth is not some primitive species to be conquered. We are humanity. We prepared for you. We waited for you. And we will do whatever it takes to remain free. From Earth, Admiral Chen's voice joined the channel. And, Ambassador, tell your empire that this ship, the Prometheus, is just one of 7. We have 6 more just like her, hidden and ready. If you come back with war, you'll face all of them. It was a lie. The Prometheus was unique. But Zeltok, beaten and humiliated, had no way to know that. Retreat, Zeltok ordered quietly. All ships, jump to Imperial space. The surviving Imperial vessels limped away, initiating their FTL drives. Within minutes, they were gone. On the Prometheus bridge, Rodriguez let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. Aria damage report. Minimal hull damage. 23 fighters lost. All other systems functioning normally. Rodriguez stood and looked at his crew. They were exhausted but alive. You all performed beyond expectations. Every single one of you. We showed them that humanity will not bow. Not to them. Not to anyone. Back on Earth, Captain Webb had watched the entire battle from the Defiance. Now he understood Admiral Chen's plan. Now he understood why she had told him to wait. He opened a channel to Earth Command. Admiral Chen, this is Captain Webb. Permission to speak freely? Granted, Marcus. That was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Chen smiled. The Prometheus isn't just a ship, Marcus. She's a statement. She's humanity's promise that we will never again be helpless. We spent 15 years building her in secret, right under everyone's noses. We let the Empire think they knew everything about us. And when they got arrogant, when they got careless, we showed them the truth. What happens now? Webb asked. Now? Chen looked up at the stars. Now the galaxy learns that humans are not prey. We're predators who were just waiting for the right moment to show our teeth. The Empire will think twice before attacking any species again. And other species who've suffered under Imperial rule, will start asking questions. Start wondering if they too can resist. The Prometheus had done more than win a battle. It had changed the balance of power in the galaxy forever. And somewhere in deep space, Zeltok's damaged flagship limped toward Imperial territory, carrying news that would shake the Empire to its core. Humanity was not what they seemed, and Earth's hidden strength had just altered the fate of the galaxy. Zeltok's flagship crawled through space for 3 days before reaching Imperial territory. The ship's engines were damaged. Life support was failing in several sections. The proud vessel that had entered human space now looked like a broken toy. When they finally reached the Imperial station at Kelvara Prime, medical teams rushed aboard. Sheltok refused treatment until he had sent his report to the High Council. He knew what was coming. Failure was not tolerated in the Empire. He stood in the communication chamber, his body aching from injuries. 4 members of the High Council appeared as holograms around him. Ancient beings from 4 different species, all with expressions of cold disapproval. "Explain yourself, Sheltok," said Counselor Mira, a being that looked like flowing water held in a transparent shell. "You lost 15 warships to a species that has had faster-than-light travel for barely 2 decades. The intelligence was wrong," Sheltok said, trying to keep his voice steady. "The humans, they hid their true capabilities. They have a supercarrier 12 kilometers long. Advanced AI, weapons we've never encountered. Pilots with reaction times that should be impossible." "Impossible?" Another counselor, Theravik, leaned forward. She was from a species called the Yintari, wise, thoughtful, and rarely deceived. Or simply unexpected? "Tell us, Sheltok, did you verify your intelligence? Or did you assume these primitive humans were incapable of deception?" Sheltok had no answer. The truth hurt more than his wounds. "The humans claim they have 6 more ships like the one that destroyed your fleet," said a third counselor. "Is this possible? I don't know," Sheltok admitted. "Our scans showed nothing. But our scans also missed the Prometheus. If they hid one ship, they could hide others." The counselors conferred silently. Finally, Mira spoke again. "You are relieved of your position, Sheltok. Return to your homeworld in disgrace. The council will decide how to handle the human situation." The holograms vanished. Sheltok stood alone in the dark chamber, his career in ruins. But in his heart, he knew something more important had been ruined: the Empire's illusion of invincibility. Word of the defeat spread through Imperial space like wildfire. At first, many didn't believe it. The Valdrin Empire, defeated by a species barely capable of space travel? Impossible. But the survivors' testimonies were verified. The sensor logs were analyzed. The evidence was undeniable. And when the news reached the Empire's client species, the hundreds of worlds that served the Valdrin by force rather than choice, something changed. Something shifted in the collective consciousness of the oppressed. On the world of Thesic, a slave species called the Orathi gathered in secret. They had served the Empire for 300 years, their rebellion crushed long ago. But now they whispered a question. If humans could resist, why couldn't they? On Vorak Prime, merchant guilds who paid heavy tribute to Imperial forces began to wonder if that tribute was truly necessary. If the Empire couldn't predict Earth's capabilities, what else had they missed? In the border territories, pirate clans who had avoided Imperial space out of fear began to grow bold. The Empire had bled. The Empire had fled. The Empire was no longer untouchable. Meanwhile, Earth was receiving unexpected visitors. 3 weeks after the Battle of Mars, the first alien ship arrived. Not an Imperial vessel, but something else entirely. Admiral Chen stood in the landing bay as the small craft touched down. From it emerged 3 beings who looked like walking crystals, refracting light in rainbow patterns. "I am Speaker Kale of the Luminar Collective," one of them said through a translator. "We come seeking the truth." "Did you truly defeat an Imperial fleet with a single ship?" Chen nodded. "We did, though we lost good people in the process. The Luminar have served the Empire for 500 years, Kale continued. "We are not slaves, but we are not free. We pay tribute. We follow their laws. We have no choice." The crystal being seemed to shimmer with emotion. "But you had a choice. You fought. How?" "We prepared," Chen said simply. "We knew first contact with a powerful species was inevitable. So we built something in secret. Something they would never expect from a young species like us. Can you teach us?" Kale asked. "Not weapons. We are not warriors. But the strategy, the thinking, how to resist without being destroyed." Chen was quiet for a moment. "I'll consider it. But understand, what we did was dangerous. We risked everything. If the Prometheus had failed, Earth would have been conquered or destroyed. But you didn't fail," Kyle said. "And now every species under Imperial rule is asking the same question. What else is possible?" Over the next 2 months, 12 different species sent ambassadors to Earth. Some wanted defensive pacts. Others wanted technology. A few just wanted to know humanity's story, to understand how a species so young had accomplished what ancient civilizations could not. Commander Rodriguez and the Prometheus remained in the inner solar system, both guarding Earth and undergoing repairs. The ship had performed beyond all expectations, but the battle had revealed weaknesses that needed addressing. Rodriguez walked through the memorial hall where 23 names were now engraved in stone. 23 pilots who had died protecting humanity. He read each name slowly, remembering faces, remembering voices. "Commander," Aria's voice spoke softly through his communicator. "You have a visitor." Rodriguez returned to his office to find Captain Webb waiting for him. The two had never met in person, only over communications during the battle. "Commander Rodriguez," Webb said, standing and offering his hand. "I wanted to meet the man who commanded that magnificent ship." They shook hands. Rodriguez gestured for Webb to sit. "The Defiance is a good ship too, Captain. Older maybe, but she's seen humanity through some dark times. She's obsolete," Webb said bluntly. "After seeing what the Prometheus can do, I understand that now. But Admiral Chen tells me there are plans to upgrade the whole fleet with new technology. Some of it," Rodriguez confirmed, "not the neural link systems. Those take years of training. Not the AI area is unique. But the kinetic weapons, the improved shields, the sensor jamming tech, all that can be retrofitted to existing ships." Webb leaned forward. "Do you think they'll come back?" "The Empire? Eventually," Rodriguez said. "But not soon, and not with the arrogance they had before. Sheltok will tell them what happened here. They'll analyze it, study it, prepare for it. When they come back, if they come back, they'll be ready for the Prometheus. So we build more," Webb said. "Admiral Chen said she told them we have 6 more supercarriers. We should make it true," Rodriguez smiled. "Already in progress. 3 more are under construction in deep space. Different designs, different capabilities. We learned a lot from the Prometheus. The next generation will be even better." Back on Earth, Admiral Chen sat in a conference room with representatives from the 12 visiting species. On the wall behind her, a holographic display showed a new star map, one that marked Earth's allies in green, the Empire in red, and neutral territories in gray. "The Valdran Empire has ruled through fear for millennia," Chen told the assembled aliens. "They convinced everyone that resistance was impossible. But we proved them wrong. Not because we're stronger, we're not. We're one small species on the edge of known space. We proved them wrong because we understood something the Empire forgot. The greatest weapon isn't the biggest gun. It's the will to never surrender," a Thesic representative spoke up. "But the Empire will adapt. They will come for you again, and next time they will be prepared." "Let them come," Chen said firmly. "By the time they're ready, we'll be stronger. We'll have more ships, more allies, more time to prepare. The Empire moves slowly. That's the weakness of all large, old organizations. They're predictable. We're new. We're fast. We're unpredictable. That's our advantage." An ambassador from the Vorak merchant guilds raised a tentacle. "And what do you want from us?" "Surely you didn't welcome us here out of pure kindness," Chen smiled. "I want something very simple. I want you to talk. Go home and tell your people what you saw here. Tell them that a young species stood up to the Empire and won. Tell them that resistance is possible. I don't want you to start wars. I don't want you to be destroyed. But I want the Empire to know that their grip on the galaxy is loosening." "You want to destabilize an empire that has stood for 10,000 years?" the Vorak asked, shocked. "No," Chen corrected. "I want to make them think twice before attacking someone weaker. I want them to negotiate instead of conquer. I want them to understand that the galaxy is changing, and they can either change with it or be left behind." She stood and looked at each ambassador in turn. The age of easy conquest is over. The Prometheus made sure of that. As the meeting ended and the ambassadors left, Chen stood alone looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there the Empire was regrouping, rethinking, preparing. But Earth was preparing too. And this time when they met again, humanity wouldn't be a surprise. They'd be a recognized power. The species that had hidden a supercarrier in plain sight. The species that had changed everything. The galaxy would never be the same. 6 months after the Battle of Mars, the Valdran Empire finally sent a new ambassador to Earth. Not a military commander this time, but Counselor Theravik herself, one of the High Council members who ruled the Empire. Admiral Chen, now promoted to Fleet Admiral and head of Earth's Interstellar Relations Division, met her at the neutral space station humanity had built at the edge of the solar system. The meeting room had windows showing the stars on all sides, a reminder that the universe belonged to no one. Theravik was tall and graceful, her silver skin marked with patterns that glowed faintly. Her species, the Yintari, were known throughout the galaxy for their wisdom. She bowed slightly when she entered. Fleet Admiral Chen, thank you for agreeing to meet. Chen gestured to a chair designed to accommodate the alien's unique physiology. Counselor, I admit I'm surprised the Empire sent someone of your rank. The Empire is reconsidering its approach, Theravik said carefully. She sat, her eyes never leaving Chen's face. May I speak candidly? Please. You humiliated us, Theravik said simply. Not just defeated us, humiliated us. Geltok was arrogant, yes, but he followed standard Imperial protocol. Scout the target, assess their strength, issue terms. It has worked for 10,000 years across 847 species. And then came humanity. Chen said nothing, waiting. You let us see exactly what you wanted us to see. Theravik continued. Your old ships, your outdated facilities. You appeared weak, helpless, insignificant. And we believed it because we have conquered so many weak species that we forgot some might be clever. She leaned forward. Tell me, Fleet Admiral, how long have you been planning this? From the moment we achieved faster-than-light travel, Chen admitted. We studied every first contact scenario in human history. The pattern was always the same. The strong subjugate the weak. We decided we would never be the weak ones. So we built the Prometheus in secret. We pretended to be less advanced than we were. We made you underestimate us. And the claim about 6 more supercarriers? Theravik asked. Was that true? Chen smiled slightly. At the time? No, but it will be soon. 3 are already under construction. The other 3 will follow within 5 years. Theravik made a sound that might have been laughter. Remarkable. Your species is only 23 years into space exploration. And you're building a fleet that could challenge empires. What is it about humanity that makes you so aggressive? We're not aggressive, Chen corrected. We're cautious. There's a difference. We don't want to conquer anyone. We just want to make sure no one can conquer us. And yet your actions have destabilized half the galaxy, Theravik pointed out. 17 species have reduced their tribute payments to the Empire in the last 6 months. 5 have formally requested independence. Pirates are growing bolder in the border regions, all because you proved the Empire could be beaten. Is that why you're here? Chen asked. To ask us to tell everyone it was just luck? No, Theravik said quietly. I'm here to propose peace. A formal treaty. The Empire recognizes Earth and all human colonies as sovereign territory. We will not interfere with your expansion into unclaimed space. In return, you agree not to share your military technology with our client species or encourage rebellion within Imperial space. Chen considered this. And if we refuse? Then the Empire will return in force. Not in months, we are not foolish enough to attack again so soon. But in years, perhaps decades, we will come back. And next time we will be prepared for your supercarriers, your AI, your tactics. Theravik's eyes were sad. It will be a terrible war, Fleet Admiral. One that might destroy both our civilizations. Is that what you want? No, Chen said honestly. But I won't agree to let other species suffer just to keep Earth safe. If the Orathi want independence, if the Luminar want freedom, I won't help the Empire crush them. I'm not asking you to help us, Theravik said. I'm asking you not to actively arm rebellion. Don't give them weapons. Don't train their militaries. Let them find their own path to freedom as humanity did. Chen was quiet for a long moment. And if they ask for help? Then talk to them. Share knowledge, philosophy, strategy, but not weapons. Not military AI. Not the technologies that make the Prometheus so deadly. Theravik stood and walked to the window. The Empire is changing, Fleet Admiral, whether we want it or not. Your victory proved that conquest is no longer easy. That even young species can resist. Some in the Council want to crush you for that. But others, myself included, believe this is an opportunity. An opportunity for what? For the Empire to evolve. To become less about conquest and more about cooperation. To rule through respect rather than fear. Theravik turned back to face Chen. But that transformation will take time. Generations, perhaps. In the meantime, we need peace. Not because the Empire is weak. We are still the most powerful force in the galaxy. But because another war will cost too much, accomplish too little, Chen stood as well. I need to discuss this with Earth's government and our allies. Give me 1 week, of course. Theravik moved toward the door, then paused. May I ask you something personal, Fleet Admiral? Go ahead. When you were building the Prometheus, when you were planning this elaborate deception, were you afraid? Chen smiled. Every single day. Afraid it wouldn't work. Afraid we'd be discovered. Afraid everyone would die because of a plan I helped create. But fear isn't weakness, Counselor. Fear is information. It tells you what's important. And keeping humanity free was important enough to risk everything. Theravik bowed deeply. Your species is young, Fleet Admiral Chen, but you are not naive. Perhaps that is the most dangerous combination of all. After the meeting, Chen returned to Earth. For 3 days, she met with world leaders, military commanders, and the ambassadors from the 12 species who had formed alliances with humanity. The debate was fierce. Some wanted to reject the treaty and prepare for war. Others wanted peace at any cost. In the end, Chen cast the deciding vote. We accept the treaty with modifications. The Empire recognizes Earth's sovereignty and our right to expand. We agree not to provide military technology to species within Imperial space. But, and this is critical, we reserve the right to offer asylum to any species that chooses to leave the Empire peacefully. We will not start rebellions, but we will protect those who want freedom. The modified treaty was sent to Theravik. 2 days later, she accepted. The formal signing took place on the neutral station. Representatives from 40 different species attended, watching as Chen and Theravik placed their marks on the document. It wasn't a perfect peace, but it was peace nonetheless. Afterward, Chen stood with Commander Rodriguez on the observation deck of the Prometheus. The Supercarrier had become the symbol of Earth's defense, a reminder that humanity would never be helpless again. Do you think it will last? Rodriguez asked. The peace? For now, Chen replied. The Empire needs time to adjust to the new reality, and we need time to grow stronger. In 20 years, 50 years, maybe we'll be equals rather than potential targets. And if the peace breaks? Chen looked at the massive ship surrounding them. Then we'll have the Prometheus and her sisters. We'll have allies. We'll have technology the Empire has never seen before, because humans never stop inventing, never stop improving. She smiled. We bought ourselves time, James. Time to become not just survivors, but a force in the galaxy. Time to make sure that what happened to humanity never happens to another species. Rodriguez nodded. Arya told me something interesting the other day. She's been analyzing galactic history. Do you know how many species achieved faster than light travel and survived their first contact with a powerful empire? How many? 47 out of 2,316. Most were conquered or destroyed within 50 years of achieving FTL. We're one of the lucky few. Not lucky, Chen corrected. Prepared. There's a difference. Back on Earth, in a classified facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, engineers were already working on something new. Something beyond the Prometheus. The project was called Olympus, and it represented humanity's next leap forward. Captain Webb, now promoted to Commodore, oversaw the project. He walked through the massive construction bay where the skeleton of something enormous was taking shape. Not a carrier this time. Something else. Something the galaxy had never seen. Status report, he called out. A young engineer approached. The framework is 30% complete, Commodore. If we maintain current pace, we'll finish in 8 years. Make it 7, Webb said. And make sure no one outside this facility knows what we're building. Yes, sir. May I ask, do we really need this? We have peace with the Empire now. Webb looked up at the growing structure. We have peace because we showed strength. The moment we show weakness, the moment we stop preparing for the worst, that's when the peace will break. He turned to the engineer. Humanity learned a hard lesson in our history. Hope for the best, but always prepare for the worst. The young engineer saluted and returned to work. Months became years. The treaty held. Trade routes opened between Earth and various species. Human colonies expanded into unclaimed territories. The 3 new supercarriers launched on schedule. The Odysseus, the Athena, and the Hercules. Each one different from the Prometheus, each one incorporating lessons from the Battle of Mars. The Empire watched. The other species watched. And slowly, carefully, the balance of power in the galaxy shifted. 5 years after the Battle of Mars, Admiral Chen, now retired but still consulted on major decisions, stood in her garden on Earth. She was older now, gray in her hair, but her eyes were still sharp. A young officer approached. "Admiral Chen, there's a message for you. From Commander Rodriguez." Chen took the datapad and read the message. Then she smiled. It was a simple message, just 3 words. Olympus is complete. She looked up at the stars, knowing that somewhere out there, hidden where no one would think to look, humanity had built something extraordinary, something that would ensure Earth's safety for generations to come. The galaxy had changed. The age of easy conquest was over. And humanity, young, clever, and unbreakable, had made sure of it. The Prometheus had been the surprise that altered the galaxy. But the real change wasn't the ship. It was the message the ship delivered. Never underestimate humanity. Never assume we're unprepared. Never think we'll surrender without a fight. Because humans don't just survive. We thrive, we adapt, we overcome, and we never ever stop planning for tomorrow.